morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you all for being here. Jacqueline, great to see you. Robin, welcome. Stan Demand, Mary Campbell.
Yes.
And those of you who join us on Facebook, good morning, happy Friday. Thank you
Good
for
morning.
being here. We like to say here, it is not a small thing that you're here. And it's not a small thing that you woke up this morning. I think maybe about 3 million people didn't wake up this morning. So it's not a small thing that we're here. Thank you all for opening up whatever you did to be here today. We have a phenomenal conversation with an unbelievable human being. And I'm really, really excited to be the host today. Sorrel had a last minute event with one of his clients, so he may be joining us later, but he may not. So this is really phenomenal. This is a continuation of a conversation we started last week, a really, really important conversation on emotional intelligence. But let's get us all primed and ready. Although, Jane, I remember you said you have a question for us, or you have something to share with us, Jane.
Oh, yes. So following in your and Sorrel's footsteps, I have a question for the group. Which runs faster, hot or cold?
I think you got us on this one, Jane.
Hot, because you can catch a cold.
Oh, oh,
That's approved. I like that.
Oh, Andrea, I can't get a
Love
single
it, love it.
approved one. Oh my gosh, Andrea, I'm hurt.
Don't be, Robin. Don't be.
What?
You should have known that one.
I have to give credit to my brother who gave me that a few weeks ago. I thought, oh, I've got to share that with Giovanni and Sorrel.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Love it, love it, love it. They're terrible. They're terrible. I love it. I love it. Very good. Well, Andrea, thank you for being here. We love you. How are you today, Andrea?
Gio, I am the way I say I am. And today I'm healthy.
Today you say you're
I
healthy.
need to be healthy, so I'm going to say I'm healthy.
I love it. Thank you,
Yep.
Andrea. Robin, good morning, Sarah. 2 questions for you. Where are you and what time is it?
Okay, so Gio, I'm really not sure where physically I am, but I am right where I'm supposed to be, right here on the Daily Huddle to get my mental status in the position to take on the rest of the day. And you say, how am I?
And what time is it?
Oh, it's it's right now, Gio. The only time I can do anything about. Can't do the future, can't do the past. I can do something about right now, and that's what it is right now, sir.
I love it. Stan Demand, good morning, Sarah. 2 questions for you. Who are you going to hug today and one thing you're grateful for?
Man, I'm just grateful for seeing a new day. Every day above ground is a good day. And I think I'm going to actually hug my tree outside of my house today, man. I haven't hugged my tree in a while.
Hug the trees, eat the trees, man.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Stan, Andrea, and Robin.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. Well, I want to get us going. This was a really great conversation that we started last week. And I'm just going to say a few things about Jane Bishop. Jane, thank you for being here. Jane Bishop is the founder and CEO of Take the Next Step and helps entrepreneurs, business owners, and organizations up-level their leadership presence skills. Jane is a former athletic coach and teacher at the collegiate level, former corporate leader, and brings a range of skills, knowledge, and expertise to her current role as an entrepreneur. She's adept at listening, connecting, and collaborating with others, and enjoys creating content from her background to help clients achieve their objective. Jane, thank you for coming back. And the question for the context for today's conversation is, how can practicing permission granted boost your EQ power, your emotional intelligence power? Jane, good morning.
Good morning, Giovanni. It's great to be back, and it's great to see everybody. I'm just a little curious, though, who's on the phone, if they could identify themselves, or if they just want to be known by a number. Would love to, if they can, or if you can change their name, Giovanni, so that we know who that is. Is
Sure.
anybody willing to listen in?
This is Cece.
Cece. Okay, great, Cece. Good morning, everybody. Well,
Good morning.
let me just say, those of us that were together a couple of weeks ago when we started this, Rose specifically asked at the end, we need to keep the conversation going, and there were a lot of head shaking. And so Sorrel asked, let's get this going, as soon as we can. So that's kind of the context for anyone on Facebook Live, or those of you who weren't able to be with us 2 weeks ago. Let me just kind of set that context just briefly, and then I will have a question for those of you that are participating today. We talked about EQ. We talked about that emotional intelligence is our ability to recognize and understand our emotions so that we have a skill at using this awareness to manage ourselves and our relationship to others. So as our conversation and our content evolved in part 1, we talked about what it is, why EQ, the communication between our emotional brain and our rational brain. We talked about that emotions are our information center that gives us data so that we can make well-informed, logical decisions. We talked about the significance of emotional intelligence. And if you weren't here on part 1, then I invite you to go to the Daily Huddle and find it from August the 6th, so you can hear more about each of these areas. And we talked about what EQ does for us, so that when we have strong self-awareness, it impacts how effective we are in social awareness, which helps us with self-management and leads us to more relationship management. And we segued into using the Olympics and what I believe was a huge, powerful example of emotional intelligence when Simone Biles chose to step out of the competition in the Olympics. And I think that if I had to assess, that probably what generated a lot of us in terms of a person at that level and in that media spotlight gave herself permission to take care of herself. And that's where some of the permission granted came in. So with that context, briefly, let me ask those of you that are with us today, whether you were with us last time or not, but especially if you were here last time in part 1, how have you been practicing permission granted? And what has it done for you? Just in a brief summary statement.
Well, Jane, for myself, I've been saying in things that I normally would say, nah, I think maybe I'm not going to do that. I say, nah, let me go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me go for it.
Good.
Yeah, I've been doing that a little more often.
Great. And what, just a follow-up quick question, Stan, what has shifted within you as you have done that? What have you noticed?
I think what is happening, what I'm seeing happen, is that I'm more consistently now challenging the thought that initially says, nah, don't do, or no, put that off.
Okay.
And at least I'm entertaining the other thought. I haven't hit it 100%, but at least the other thought is coming right up behind it now. No, go for it. Why are you saying no?
Great, excellent. Anyone else want to have an example? Robin, you're on mute, Robin.
Real quick, tell me the question again. I had to step away for a second.
Sure. I was just asking after I set the context, Robin, for those of you that were here, how have you been practicing permission granted, and what shift have you noticed?
Okay, so I've been on a track since January 1st that completely turned around my entire business career and everything that I've been doing professionally. And I've been really hitting a wall and not being able to get where I felt like I was supposed to be. And after speaking with you, and I went through having a really bad bout of COVID, really reassessing everything about it, I allowed myself the permission to say, what if I stopped doing that and went back to something that has been very profitable for me in the past that I have the ability to do very easily and help my family and our financial situation and stop this pipe dream that I've been thinking I'm supposed to be walking into, and allow it to be secondary again and work hardcore on this other process. And I did it. I've turned the corner. All of my graphics and everything that I'm doing online and how I'm dressed and everything that I'm doing is promoting a completely different business persona now. And I'm not giving up the other dream, but I've allowed myself to say, you know what? Emotionally, I have the permission to go back to this. It's not a failure.
Right.
It's just another step and another phase. And I just did it. And I said, that's enough. Let's make this happen. And I'm having amazing success already. I mean, absolutely cranking out. And I feel a million times better mentally and emotionally because I've given myself the permission to do it.
That's awesome, Robin. And your energy, I'm sure you've noticed an energy shift, because your energy today compared to 2 weeks ago is just, you know, light years away. So kudos to you. Anybody else, even if you weren't here, Pramashing, Jacqueline, you were here. Any thoughts from 2 weeks ago, for instance? I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know you were here last time. So if you do, feel free to comment. If not, we'll move on.
Well, actually, I've given my permission just to complete some of my films over here and do more editing, as opposed to stopping and doing something else. Work on me first. So that's pretty much what I've been doing.
What a novel idea. Great, that's awesome. So here, I want to remind us of a quote that I shared in part 1 from Simone Biles, and I will read it so I don't miss any of it. When she was talking about the importance of treating mental health and that she had to take care of herself, she said, we also have to focus on ourselves, because at the end of the day, we're human too. We have to protect our mind and our body rather than just go out there and do what the world wants us to do. And Robin, you said it, you know, what you thought you should do or people expecting you to do. So in that whole self-awareness piece, when we give ourselves permission and we grant ourselves permission granted to connect with ourselves, trust with ourselves, and influence ourselves, we can have great impact on ourselves, which means we have a greater influence on those around us. And I think all of us are in business because we want to make a difference. We want to engage our gifts and skills, or we just want to be an influencer. So any other questions or thoughts from part 1, permission granted, emotional intelligence, before I give just a couple of other pieces of content? Giovanni, I don't know if we have anything on Facebook Live, but let me know if we have, you know, interrupt, you know, if we do. So one of my takeaways from part 1 was a sense of how we can work on permission granted for ourselves. And it becomes a process, it becomes a nurturer, but how do we model that? How do we demonstrate? How do we give that to others? Because we are surrounded by people who don't know how to give themselves permission to be themselves, permission to relax, permission to stop, permission granted for whatever the case may be. So here's what I'd like to offer today, you know, in light of that, is that we can model that and demonstrate and give that to others by creating a safe space. And let's talk about it. Let's relate it just for today to conversation. Create a safe space for conversation. And by safe space, I mean 3 things. And this is where our emotional intelligence can help us, because we can assess what is needed. We can move into that relationship management, social awareness, self-management, self-awareness, all of those skills about emotional intelligence to create the safe space, because it means, first of all, to listen. Listening is the greatest gift almost that you can give anyone in conversation, in communication, and in connection. So to create a safe space, a safe zone, I like to call it. The second thing is have it be a no judgment, a judgment-free zone. Mary can tell me anything. She can converse with me in this safe space. She can offload. She can share opinions about anything. And I agree, it's a judgment-free zone. I don't have to agree. I don't have to like, but it's Mary and where she's bringing to the conversation. And remember, at the very heart of all of us as humans, we want to be valued and understood. So listen, a judgment-free zone. And then the third way to create a safe space is ask those powerful questions. Because when we're listening to people, it's going to kind of trigger our curiosity if we're really listening. And listening, listening is not just hearing the words, blah, 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 blah. Listening is being present with that person in that moment, is watching their body language, listening for voice tone, listening for a pace of how they're speaking. Are they speaking really fast? Are they really nervous? Are they excited? Are they stressful? Or are they contemplating their words? And you get the picture. So when we listen and we create a judgment-free zone, then we can ask those powerful questions, which helps them think, which helps pull out of them perhaps some clarity and a solution, or simply a sense of encouragement and value. Now, let me pause there for just a moment and see what that might surface in anyone that you would like to comment or ask a question. Yes, Jacqueline.
Oh, I was pushing up my glasses, sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, Robin, are you waving or is that a hand? Yes.
No, you're really got my gears going this morning, Jane, with this conversation. And I posted in the chat that I had that listen conversation with my 17-year-old this morning.
Yeah.
He's a big brain kid. He's very, very studied. He reads a lot of the classics, a lot of the real deep thinker. But I told him this morning that I'm getting very frustrated with the self-absorbed, self-centered, narcissistic nature of our society. I've seen in so many people in so many situations where all they want to do is tell you about them. And it's becoming so exhausting. And so it's so refreshing to hear somebody say, listen to hear, not just to wait for your opportunity to speak. Right.
Yes.
And so as an example, a Facebook post, we have a pastor in our church recently has come here from South Florida, and a very dear friend of him and his wife's just died of COVID. She was in her early 30s and she has a family, and it's horrible. It's so tragic. She's been sick for a month. And somebody responded to her to the post this morning telling us about it with their tragedy. And I was just so incensed.
Yes.
It's like, just say, I'm sorry. How can I serve you?
Yes.
Right. But we're so self-absorbed that she had to share her pain on this post that should have been all about their pain and their frustration. So this not listening thing is such a common theme in our society now. And it's so refreshing to hear you saying that. And I hope lots of people see this video and share this and really, really grasp this idea that we're here to help others. We're not here to be self-absorbed and always thinking about ourselves, right? So
right. And that's a good point, Robin. A good illustration too, in that moment, that person had a very low EQ awareness of self, because it became all about her then to share her tragedy, with that. Any other quick comments before I mention a couple of other things? So if you're generating, if things are being, maybe this is not new for you, or maybe that, and that's great. For maybe it's just a reminder, in the noise of our world that we live in today, it's okay to remember that sometimes we need to go back to the fundamentals, and we need to go back to the basics. And that's what got us, to where any of us are today. And somehow that gets lost. And some people say, well, this is just so trite and so simple, Jane. Do not underestimate the power of simplicity. Do not underestimate the power of fundamentals. When I was coaching We worked on fundamentals in practice, fundamentals, until they became so routine that when it showed up in a game, the players didn't have to think about it. You know, they knew exactly what to do and where to go. They were stretched. We have to do that with ourselves. But let me just add, and then we'll leave it wide open to questions. There's an organization called 6 Seconds, the number 6 and then seconds.org. They have some great resources. They posted a video recently about 3 lessons learned from the Olympics. It's great. It's like 2.5 minutes. You can find it on YouTube, or you can find it. I posted it on my LinkedIn page a couple of days ago. But here's one quote from there. And this is what emotional intelligence helps us to do. When we connect with people, we can create breakthrough solutions. When we can connect with people, we can create breakthrough solutions. That includes conflict resolution, that includes awkward subjects in conversation, that includes any topic that you want to tag that to. And when then we can create this safe zone for others, this safe space by listening, making it a judgment-free zone, and then asking those powerful questions, what in essence we're doing is we're empowering them, and we're demonstrating value and understanding them. So as we kind of stop here, let me mention in the chat box, I put a link. You probably have to scroll back up because I did it when Giovanni and I first got on. If you're curious about your emotional health where you are, or you know somebody that is, I've got a summer special that runs through the end of August on my emotional intelligence assessment. And it comes with a 60-minute virtual consultation with me, and it's only $99 until the end of the month. You don't have to, you just have to purchase it by the end of August, and then we'll work out the schedule, you know, when you want to do that. But if you go to that link up in the, or Giovanni, if you can maybe repost it in the current link, be glad to help you out with that. So I will pause from here, see what other questions you have before Giovanni does his wrap up, and maybe think about this question. My time today has been valuable, so that, and complete the sentence.
This is an awesome conversation, Jane. I really, like I said, you're spot on with me with where I'm at right now, and to hear it and to understand it and to realize it and to have it concretely right there is just so refreshing and so amazing. So thank you for that.
Well,
Thank you, Robin. And thank you, Jane. And I think that emotional intelligence, right? The world of emotional intelligence, it's quite a conversation to take on, right? A conversation to take on, and to have it be a media stream, you know, mainstream kind of conversation, given that we have forgotten what are the fundamentals, you know, what you were pointing to, you know, like, don't underestimate the power of simplicity, don't underestimate the power of fundamentals. And I was wondering if you could point to a few fundamentals in the opportunity of creating a safe space for people. You know, like anything that surfaced for you, what are a few fundamentals to create safe space for people?
sure. Well, first of all, when you're be aware of yourself, and when your triggers go off, stop them. Okay, that's one, you know, managing yourself. 2 is, if you're in a group of people and you sense that it's not a safe space and that people are making assumptions or conclusions, interject with a thought-provoking question and redirect the conversation. The third thing, Giovanni, that surfaces is people that you have conversations with on a consistent basis. It's continuing to show up and creating that safe zone so that they develop a trust factor with you. And one other quick thing, if it's a one-off conversation, one thing that you can do when you maybe want to comment, you can just simply say, thank you for sharing your opinion. and make no additional commentary.
Thank you for sharing your opinion.
Mhm.
When you said, if you see that you're being triggered, stop it.
Yes.
Right, for the space of creating a safe space for others. What tips do you have, or something that you want to say about how to stop one's triggers? Because many times when I'm triggered, I'm going into that rabbit hole, you know, and like my little voice is saying, stop yourself,
Yeah.
don't go there, and I go into the pool, right?
Yeah.
Any tips on that, on how to stop yourself once you're in that hole?
Yes. Yes. 3 things. It's the SSR technique that I teach my clients. SSR. When you're triggered or you're about to be triggered, stop yourself. Physically stop your brain. Just say the word stop if you have to. That's the first S. The second S is shift. Make some physical movement with your body. Stretch your arm. If you're standing, sit down. If you're, but some physical shift with your body. And the R is respond. Because in those quick nanoseconds, you have stopped your brain, you have paused it, and you've allowed yourself to regroup, and then you can respond rather than react. And your response may be, thank you, I'll get back to you, and walk away. Your response may be, I need to think about that. Your response may be, I don't appreciate what you just said. Can we talk about it? So, and the visual that I give people is a traffic light. So the SSR, the first S is red light, second S is yellow light, make that physical shift with your body, and the green light is respond. I'm telling you, it works. I use it. I teach
That's
it.
great.
It
That's
works.
great.
I love it.
I love the idea of the stoplight too. That's
Yeah.
that's such a good visual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great vision, red, light, and green. And go ahead and raise your hand if you have any comments or any questions. But I'm going to add
Yeah.
something here. Oh, go ahead, Andrea.
Sorry, I just wanted to reemphasize in the simplicity yet complexity of what you just told us. It's a very simple tool, yet so deep that makes you really stop, like reassess
Yes.
what you're going, like really makes you physically and mentally get ready for it. So it's simple yet complex. So thank you
Yes.
for sharing
Yeah.
that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And I just want to put in there as well that as you become less self-absorbed and start listening better, it becomes easier to put yourself in the other person's shoes,
Yes.
to feel their emotional situation, and then you're not as focused on your own frustration. And this is just personally, it took me getting almost to 60 to process this and
Yeah.
get to this point. But even with my children or my wife, there's things that they'll do that trigger me. And I've learned over the years, I wish I had you when I was in my 20s, Jane. I probably had been a much better person, a much nicer person. But to be able to put yourself in their emotional situation,
Mhm.
and that removes you from it. So now I can go and take it out on the rest of the world and go, hey,
Yeah.
you people are a bunch of knuckleheads, treat each other nicely, right?
Yes,
Put
right.
yourself in somebody else's shoes, allow them to be who they are, and stop making it about you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have a 5-week virtual EQ boot camp that I do for groups. So if any of you ever have a group of, it requires a minimum of 5 just because the synergy. But if that's an interest to this group or any, if you're part of a group, then reach out and we can talk about how to do that.
Awesome.
That is phenomenal. When you get a minute, Jane, drop the link for the 5-week EQ group training.
Yeah, I'll
Gio
actually
and I
give
will
you-
sign up first.
Well, actually, I will give my email. I'll give my email because I only do it right now if a group requests it. So if there's a group of individuals that you want to bring together, then email and we'll get it scheduled.
Thank you.
There- yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put your email
Yeah.
on Facebook as well.
Okay, great.
Very good. So unfortunately, this is the time to wrap up
Yeah.
today's conversation, but we will continue to put a light on emotional intelligence, which is so critical in the way we have evolved consciously. And we have had breakthroughs in many areas, but emotional intelligence might be one we may not be paying attention to. So this is definitely a conversation to put a light on over and over and over. Jane, what are your last comments for today, Jane?
I'm going to quote the 6 seconds quotes again. When we connect with people, we can create breakthrough solutions. And our emotional intelligence is our power tool to do that.
I love it. I love it. Well, nobody says it better than Robin. That's 7 things for us to have a great life. Robin, are you in the mood to close
I got
us
you,
out?
brother. I got you, brother. I am down for it. Let me tell you, we got 6 rules. I actually added 1 and made it 7. To live like a renegade, have great skin, have a sexy body, be attractive for the rest of your long, healthy life, from our dear friend, Patty Dabrowski. Number 1, love always. Just give. Love. All that love that you have in you. You were created to love and be in relationships. So always love. Think about the other person's emotional situation and stop focusing on yourself. Laugh out loud. Laugh until you feel like you can't breathe. They actually have done scientific research that says when you laugh to the point of not breathing, you add years to your life. It does something to your endocrine system and really changes your whole internal structure. Stress less. That comes with a laughing out loud. There's one life, guys. It's not that big a deal. Relax. It takes years from your life when you stress. Eat more plant-based. Look at me, 100% plant-based for 3 months. I feel amazing. My whole system feels amazing. I'm unbelievably healthy. I can't wait to get my new doctor's report. Love the trees, hug the trees, eat the trees, whole food, plant-based for life. Get 7 or more hours of sleep every night. I got 8 last night. I went to bed early. I feel so good today because my body regenerated and recharged. Give. And can I say just one more thing? Give. Give everything you got. Pour it out. Show that to people that you are the person they can come to and you will help, because there's never been a U-Haul truck behind a hearse. You can't take it with you, folks. And last but not least, move like your life depends on it, because it does. 30 minutes or more a day, folks. Dance, act silly, make it happen. And the definition of life includes the word movement. Don't forget that. Love you guys. Have an awesome day. We'll see you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Oh, Gio. Good movement music there. Good stuff, man. Mary, it was great seeing you today. Glad you're here.
Yeah. Have a great day, everybody.